Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys? Welcome. Welcome to the JP Business Reset Challenge, day one. Hey guys, I got to get a look at you first. I got to see who's out there. All right. See some familiar faces already. All right. Okay. Hey guys. All right. All right. All right. There's Pamelia. There's Pamelia. Hey, Pamelia. There's Sandy. Sandy's got it. She's going all out with the hat today. All right. There's Sarah. Hey, Sarah. What's going on? She got sunglasses going. There's another Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Hey, guys. All right. There's Paul. We got some new faces. We got some new folks out there. All right. Hey, guys. Some of you I just saw a couple of weeks ago. Terry, hey, Terry, just a couple of weeks ago. And Heather, saw you a couple of weeks ago. All right, guys. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, cool. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this. All right, guys, let's get some. I'm just gonna get some mechanics out of the way. Michelle's out of town this week, so I get to do this part, which gotta tell you, I'm a little bit fearful because I may miss some things, right? And if I don't do it perfect and I miss some things, well, then I made a mistake and then I feel like I failed and then I failed you. And then that could spiral very fast, right? No, I'm not going to do that. I promise. This is going to be very imperfect. I am very, very imperfect. In fact, you guys know my saying. I want you imperfect this week. So 70%, right? You guys get to play 70% this week. Not 100, 70, 70. 70 is good enough. Some mechanics to get out of the way. Hopefully you guys all have your worksheets, your handy dandy worksheet. They are, if you are looking for where those are, they are in your dashboard or they are in the Facebook group. So if you're in the Facebook group right now and you're like, hey, Brandon, how do I get this dashboard thing you talked about? Or how do we even get access to go join you via Zoom? Because I see a bunch of people out in the Facebook world. Um, you did get an email that gave you access to the dashboard. Email Pam. Pam's with us on this call right now. So if you guys need access to the dashboard, if you're out there in the Facebook world wondering how you get access to this thing, please send a message to Pam at support@brandonbarbercoaching.com. And Pam, if you'll put that both in here and also in the Facebook group as well, that'd be awesome. So put your email address in there. And guys, you can email support at any time. So put that in Facebook too, would you, Pam? The Facebook group. I see them. Maybe maybe you don't have access to that right now. I'm not sure. So I'll do this. But guys, if you're in the Facebook world right now and you're wondering how to get into your dashboard, email Pam. She's there for you at any time. And guys, anytime over the next week, you have questions that you have. Okay, I put it in the Facebook group, Pam. I put it out there, so you're good. Any you guys have any comments, any thoughts, anything over this week, please email us at support@brandonbarbercoaching.com and we're here for you. You want to know, you want to have access to that dashboard. You want that dashboard because all of our communication goes into that dashboard. So all the worksheets that we do each day are in that dashboard. They're also in the Facebook group, but they're in the dashboard. And then the recordings of today. How many of you are like, I like the recordings? Some of you might not be here and you're going to want the recordings. And it's in your dashboard. It'll be on your link on your dashboard. It'll also be in the Facebook group. So everything you need will be in the Facebook group. But what a great place to just have one place in your dashboard to have access to everything, right? Plus, those of you that are interacting each day, you get points along the way. So when you interact with your dashboard, you get points. When you show up for this call, you get points. When you watch the recording, you get points. So you're getting points for all sorts of stuff that you do and interact with us. And at the end of the week, we do giveaways. And some of you have been with us before and you know we do some pretty cool giveaways, right? We do some pretty awesome giveaways. Some of you are like, yeah, I know the giveaways, like the $5 Starbucks card, and not that kind of giveaway. I'm not giving away any $5 Starbucks cards. And if some of you want a $5 Starbucks card, we're happy to, exchange it for that. But we're giving away thousands of dollars worth of coaching over the next week. How's that? Is that better than a $5 Starbucks card? Not that there's anything wrong with the $5 Starbucks card, but there's lots of giveaways. So interact. Each day you want to make sure you have your worksheets. And your worksheets, that's the process that you do with us over the next week, 5 days. It's not, because you don't want to just sit and listen to me talk. Like that's a drag. You want to interact. and some of the stuff. So I'm curious, how many of you've been on one of our challenges before or one of our master classes? Yeah, raise your hand if you have. Okay. Yeah, lots of people, lots of people, lots of people. How many of you this is your first time? Wondering. How many of you first time? Alina? Deanna or is it Dina? What? First time? Who else? Who else first time? Raise your hand. Nancy? Janae, first time. Heidi, okay. Oh gosh, we got some first timers, guys. Susie, first time. Rosalind. All right, we got some first timers, guys. Okay, cool. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. All right, awesome. Okay, so if you've joined me in the past, you know the giveaways. This is good stuff, and you know some of the things that you've done with us in the past. We will repeat over these next 5 days. But here's what you also know. Repetition is the mother of all skill, right? So hearing it again isn't like I'm hearing it again. Hearing it probably with different ears in a different place. And let's face it, how many of you feel like you need to hear things 2 or 3 or 55 times in order to really register it? Yes, because you're human. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're human. And human beings, especially adult learning in 2024, come on. We have so much information coming at us. We have so much stuff shooting our way. Like, how do we register? We pick it all up. Even right now, you're like, I don't know if I'm registering everything you're saying, Brandon. Can I hear it? Can I? Because I got all this other stuff going on. And maybe you're multitasking right now. You're doing other things. You're looking at email. You're like, hey, when's he going to get to the good stuff? It's like having our brains register everything. Like, good luck. Good luck. Do me a favor. Stay present. Over these next 5 days, if you do one thing on these calls, be present with us. Be here. Decide to be here. You paid some money. You paid some time. You're paying some time here. So stay here with us. Be present with us. I promise it'll make a massive amount of difference. I'm going to tell you right now, you're just passively listening, hoping you might subliminally get some information. I'm just going to tell you guys, it's not worth it. Like I would say, go do your own thing. Come back and watch the recording because we're not going to subliminally sneak into your brain. There's 3 levels of mastery in your life as a human being. There's a cognitive mastery. Cognitive mastery means you know it. How many of you know an awful lot? Anybody? Guys, I know so much. Oh my gosh, I know so much. I've read so many books. I've engaged with thousands of different programs. Like I know it all. But cognitive mastery, come on. That's one level of mastery. How many of you know right now how to make your business more successful? How many of you know what to do, at least? You know what to do. How many of you know how to lose weight? How many of you know how to get to your ideal weight? How many of you are at your ideal weight? You know how come you're not? If you're not, it's because you don't have the second level of mastery, which is experiential or emotional mastery, right? I know an awful lot, but am I actually experiencing it? Am I practicing it? Am I actually experiencing it or am I just knowing it? So this week's not just about knowing more, it's about experiencing more, getting that experiential mastery. And sometimes you have to hear it a second, third, a 95th time for it to get into your system and experience it. Because then the third level of mastery is physical mastery. It's actually doing it. So going from knowing to doing is a very, very interesting process, right? So we're going to practice that this week. We're going to practice getting into an experiential mastery so that you get into a physical mastery and you don't just know more because just knowing more is not going to do much. Trust me. I know a lot. Do I do it? Do I practice it? I do. I practice a lot, but not everything. No way. Not everything I know. So knowledge is power. Yes, but sometimes it's disempowering. How many of you overthink? More information does not necessarily bode well for you because it's just more stuff to process and think about and get right. It's like I know sometimes when I'm struggling the most with something, it's like going and getting a self development shelf help book is not the best thing to do. Going and filling my head with more stuff is not the best thing to do. It might be better for me to do some experiential mastery. And maybe that might be breath work or whatever else, some somatic work. But listen, we're giving you information this week. We are. But I want you to get it in your system. I want you to soak it up instead of just know it. So for those of you joining us for the first time, like welcome. Like this could be good, 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 good. And it might feel like you're getting fire hosed, right? So it might feel like you said, "Hey, Brandon, I'm a little thirsty." And I said, here's a fire hose and turn on full blast. You're like, what? I guess there's a lot. So we do a lot in a very short time. And if you've been with me in the past, you move a lot faster through it because you've been through some of it. But if you haven't, it might feel like it's an awful lot. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We are not going to get it all figured out and get it all right and you're not going to get everything understood in your world and in your business in 5 days. This is not going to happen. You're not going to get all the secrets mined from the depths of all the courageous hearts, as Og Mandino would put it, in 5 days. So we're going to give you all an opportunity. Do I have your permission at some point to share where you guys might be able to get more from us? Like what we might be able to, we have a surprise for you guys this week, right? We have something that we're going to offer to all of you to come join us in something after this if you'd like to. Yes? Do we have your permission to share that? Okay. Because again, this isn't a 5 day sales pitch, right? It's 5 days of giving you absolutely what I promised you I'm going to deliver to you. And that's how to give you a reset in your business so that you can create a more magnetizing you. So you can attract people with more efficiency and more effectively and more effectively with more efficiency. And so you can affect your passion and your profits and anybody else out there that might be in your team that you might want to have an impact on. And it could be one, it could be a million. I don't know. But this is for all levels. So, guys, I'm excited. We're going to kick this thing off. We're going to rock and roll. Print your worksheets and do it with us. And notice when you start to check out and come back and be present. Do what you can to be here and engaged and present. So, are you guys in it? Are you here for the next week? Have you scheduled in this time in your calendar? Have you asked the people in your life for support to support you in this next week? And hey, I don't know what support looks like for you, but whatever it looks like for you, you've asked them for support so they can come support you in this process. Yes? All right, cool. So let's get real. Let's jump in. What's the gap? What's the gap right now between where you are in your life and where your business should be? Now, I've asked that question thousands of times. I feel like I've asked it an awful lot over the last year. What's the gap for you right now? And maybe there's not one. But if you look at your worksheet right now, like I really want you to get clear, where's the gap for you? Like, where's the gap for you? Right here in the worksheet. Where's the gap between where you want your business to be and where it is? Where's the gap for you? What is it? What's the gap? Is it money? You should be making more money in your business. Is it a rank in your business? You should be at a certain rank. Is it, I should have more teams showing up to calls and stuff that I'm doing? Where's the gap? What is it? If we're not clear what the gap is, we can't bridge the gap. So we got to know what the gap is first. It's probably the only time I'm going to ever ask you to focus on the gap. Some of us get too gap focused and then we lose out or we miss out on the gratitude of life, on the gratitude of our business. We'll talk more about that. But right now, where's the gap? There's a gap, or else you wouldn't be here. Or some of you are like, Brandon, I'm here to even, I know that the gap has been filled in by the work that I'm doing. So I'm here to get even sharper and sharper. That could be the case. But where's the gap for you? Put in the chat where the gap is for you. Like, what is it? And again, there doesn't have to be one. Some of you are like, I'm good. Like, I just came here to get more and more and get better and better. There's not a gap. I'm actually making all the things happen in my life that I want to make happen as far as business goes. My business is rocking and rolling. I'm getting teams showing up. People are showing up. I'm making money. I'm killing it. Like, what's happening? Where's the gap for you? Team, business builders. So during that, you want more team and more business builders. You want more frontline, attracting more team, creating solid structure. Okay, cool, Heather. Alina says, next rank, team, money, it's all connected. Yeah, you're right, it is. I need a running team, business builders. I need a running team of business builders. Mickey, gotcha, okay? My gap is financial and structural. Many partners have become inactive and I want to build bigger. Okay, cool. Yeah. There's no bad answers, no wrong answers. More growth. Diane, is it more growth in your business or is it more growth internally or both? That's a question for later, but something to think about. My gap is my daily activity resulting. Oh, dang it, I missed that. It went fast. My gap is my daily activity resulting in a gap of 30 customers and wanting to be adding partners every week. Okay, Tasha, cool. Welcome. Financial, both. Okay. Yeah. More team of business builders. Right. Continue to grow me. Consistency and lack of customers. Okay. Let's get clear. We got to get clear if we're going to bridge the gap. You got to know what the gap is. And the more precise you get, the more particular you get, the better. And here's why. Brain's going to have a tendency to exaggerate. So it is absolutely imperative that you get particular. Because some of you might go, it's all of my income. It's like the whole financial piece. And brain's going to exaggerate that. Brain's going to go, it's like everything in my business is just, it's all the time and everywhere. And come on, how many of you know at times your brain exaggerates? And it says things like always or never. How about when you get into a disagreement with your spouse? Do you go, you always do this. You never do this. And it's like, is that really true? No. Brain exaggerates. Survival brain exaggerates. So when things aren't going the way we want it to go, brain exaggerates. And it generalizes. It generalizes. This always happens. This never happens. It's never going to look like this. It's always going to look like this. Survival brain generalizes. Survival brain exaggerates. So the more particular you get, the better. It's like if I got one recommendation for you guys when you get into a disagreement with somebody else, stay particular. Hey, it's our fight today that I want to talk about. You showed up like this in our fight today. Not you always do this. Tell me when somebody says that. You always do this. What do? You're like, get defensive now. I don't always do this. And they're like, okay, maybe not always, but most of the time, instead of, hey, I'm talking about today. So get particular. The better you get at getting particular about where the gap is, the better you're going to be able to build the bridge. You're like, hey, I don't know. It's like all this stuff. And it's like, what kind of bridge do I build? Am I building like this, old crickety wooden bridge? Do we need to build a cobblestone bridge? What kind of bridge do we need to build? Brain exaggerates, it generalizes, it deletes, and it distorts. When it's offline, when things aren't going the way we want it to go, it distorts stories. How many of you know this? Your brain creates all sorts of crazy stories and it goes down all sorts of weird paths. And you're like, How many of you have sat and like just you created something in your brain and you're like, this isn't even real, but it feels real, right? And you create another story and another story and another, and you like spiral into story. You're like, I don't even know what's going on. And then you vocalize it to somebody and you're like, I can't even believe that I've been thinking that. That's crazy. So my guess is if you're not where you want to be, brain has been doing one of three things: generalizing, distorting, and deleting. And when I say deleting, forgetting about everything that's beautiful, forgetting about all the awesome stuff. So when you're looking at your gap, get specific and notice if your brain just distorted. Notice if your brain just deleted and forgot about all the beautiful stuff. Notice if it just got focused on generalizing. Yeah. See, what happens when our brains go into that space is then it creates this hopeless experience. Because if it's always happening and if it's always been going on and it's never going to change, you don't have a lot of hope, right? And I got to tell you, it is the epitome of suffering. It is the epitome of suffering. If you're in some sort of state of suffering right now, it's probably because your brain has created some sort of, it's never going to be this way, right? It's almost like a hopelessness. And without hope, there's suffering. There's always suffering. So I'm here to help you bridge the gap. I'm here to create a bridge. Let's bridge the gap. Let's at least start construction on the thing. So you can go, hey, that's where I want to get to. Where am I? I want to help you dig into a little bit more pain for just a minute. And you're like, seriously? Like, we got to do this? Like, yes. And we got to identify pain because we've got to get leverage. Those of you that have joined me in the past, you know I talk about leverage, leverage, leverage. This isn't about knowing your why, but it's about knowing why right now. This is about digging into your motivation. What's going to motivate you to make some changes? Well, if you just expect pleasure to motivate you, good luck. Pain's going to be a motivator. I'm a big fan of identifying pain as a motivator. I'm going to tell you, pain does a lot to motivate you. I know the last 3 years of my life, maybe 4 now, it's been a bit. 2019, some of you I've given you this story. You know my story. 2019, October 2019, I got a cancer diagnosis. I'll tell you something to wake you up faster than anything in the world, right? Is finding out you have cancer. Taking certainty, pulling the rug out from under you like that. Like, man, that's scary. But what did I do? After I came out of my, fetal position for a week, maybe I was in it for longer than a week. Michelle will probably tell you it was a couple weeks. After I came out of my my fetal position and then started to go, okay, what do I got to do? What do I need to do? And it was like, I got to get healthy and I got to eat right. Right now, I have some really, cool products that, people have, that have given me for that kind of stuff for sure. But what did I have to do? I had to get healthy. I had to wake up. I had to wake up. And the pain to this day, I walk every single aisle in every single store, anything else that I put into my mouth, I read labels. Every single thing, I read a label. Did I do that 4 years ago? No way. I was putting things in my body that I don't even know. Like crazy. I was 50 pounds overweight. Like there was not healthy stuff happening in my life. What will make me read the label every day? What will make me be the guy that goes to the restaurant with a group of people and asks the server 12 times, or has to go back and forth to the kitchen to find out if they put that in it, if they put that in it. And while everybody's sitting at the table like this, seriously, I don't know if we can go out to dinner with you anymore, Brandon. Like, this is embarrassing. I want to order my food. Who will be that guy, right, that keeps asking over and over again? So I'm not pleasing people, making sure what I'm putting in my body is healthy. Like, what's motivating me to do that? And I got to tell you guys, pain motivates me because I don't ever want to get cancer again. I don't ever want to get sick. I don't ever want to be in the place I was in before, ever. So I'll do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. That means reading labels. That means being the pain in the ass at dinner. I will do that because pain has motivated me. Now, wouldn't it have been nice to have that pain motivate me before I got a cancer diagnosis? Like, wouldn't it have been nice for 4 or 5 years before that for me to get that wake up call? I didn't use pain. Right now, I want you to use a future pain to motivate you and get you inspired. Now, we'll use pleasure as well, but for a minute, let's just use pain. Let's use it to motivate you. Let's use it to move you. There's an ancient Roman proverb that says, fate will help the willing, and those who won't, she will drag. I don't want you to get drugged. I want you to willingly jump into your business today. I want you to willingly get active into it, not wait to get drugged by it, not wait until you're financially at a crisis, or not until you just got to go get a job, or you got to get another job, or I don't want you to get there. I want you to proactively do it. So let's use pain to motivate us. Deal? Right now, I want you to think in the past 12 months. So if you look at your, and I know some of you are like, Brandon, I've done this before. I know, I want you to do it today. Right here, I want you to go, oh, sorry, it's this one here. Right now, in the past 12 months, how many people have you impacted with your business? How many people have you impacted with your business over the last 12 months? Now, don't go try to pull up numbers from your reports. I'm not here to have you do that, right? But generally speaking, like if someone were to say, Brandon, how many people have you impacted over the last 12 months? Thousands, 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 thousands. Can you say that? Can you say thousands? Five? Hundreds? Tens? How many people have you impacted with your business? With the products, how many have you impacted? And how many of you impacted with the business opportunity? How many of you impacted? You know you've had an impact. You know your products do something. I know your products do something. I believe in them. That's why I'm here. So I'm here helping you. How many people have you impacted, guys? Hundreds? Tens? Now, this will either motivate you in a positive way or it'll motivate you in a painful way. So this is either pleasure or pain. For me to be able to say thousands over the last year, that's empowering to me. I know I busted my butt though. I know it doesn't just come to me. It hasn't just shown up. I have busted my butt to impact people. And those of you that have been with us for the last year, you know, you've watched us. You've watched how much we work. You watch how much we put out there. Now, there's Brandon doing another thing. Gosh, Brandon, you're doing awful lot of stuff. That's right. I have a cause. And my cause is to serve you and get you to your business and to a totally different level, to a totally different place. My objective is the 10X you. So I have a cause. I don't sit around when my cause is out. I got to go bust my butt. So how many people have you impacted with your business? And is it enough? Now, I don't want you to go to a place it's never enough, but do you want more? Do you want to impact more people? Do you want to impact their health? Yes. How many more people do you guys? Sorry, somebody's having trouble getting on. They're trying to text me. I'm going to tell them to contact you, Pam. Is that okay, Pam? Can I do that? Okay. Okay. So, pain. How much money have you generated? How much income have you generated? And I don't want you to go to shame here. I want you to go to pain here. Shame is just going to create more problems, right? You go to shame, I'm bad, I suck. See, I'm not a great leader. I'm not great at this. I don't want you to go to shame. I want you to go to pain. Oh, more deserve to be impacted, Lisa. Yes. How many of you want to make more money? Like, look at what your income is. What's your income been over the last year? And you don't have to necessarily put the exact number, but roundabout thousands, hundreds of thousands, a million. Like, Brandon, I wish. Well, what would you like it to be? What's your income been like? And how many people have you impacted? And I want you to use this for leverage. Leverage is basically motivation. And we've got to use pain. We've got to use pain. Let's use it for what it's meant to be used for, to alert us that something's not right, that something needs to be worked on. If you've got some pain, that's your brain alerting you that something needs to change. Awesome. I want to impact more people and I want to make more money doing it. Okay, great. Great. So let's look at it. Let's use pleasure right now. So I want you to look at the next piece of your worksheet. And I want you to ask yourself, how many people do you really want to impact over the next 12 months? Over the next 12 months, how many people do you, in fact, I'd say over the next 90 days, how many people do you want to impact? And what kind of income do you want to make? What do you want to create over the next 90 days? Like if you really got clear about, okay, Brandon, I got some pain, but now I got some pleasure. This is what I want to do. Here's my cause. I want to serve more people. I want to make them healthier. And I want to help a lot more people build a business. Yeah. Lisa, I love how you got, pretty clear about that, right? 9K. All right, cool. I like it. I like it. Like, what do you want? Get particular. Get specific. Remember, brain's going to tend to generalize. What do you want? How many more people do you want to impact? How much more money do you want to make? Let's get clear. Because if you're not specific, you're not going to have the leverage. And when I find people that don't have the leverage, they're satiated. What is satiated? It's like, how many of you have kids? And how many of you, and I don't know if you have kids at home or not, but we have one kid left at home out of four. It's really hard being an empty nester. But when that kid says, I'm hungry, says, I'm hungry, I'm like, how hungry? And he's like, will you make me something? And I'm like, oh, you're that hungry, right? He's satiated. Because the minute I go, dude, tell you what, we have this, this, and this. Why don't you get up and make this for yourself? He's like, I'm not that hungry. He's satiated. I'm like, I buy, you fly. In other words, you drive to go pick it up, I'll order it. And he's like, I'm not that hungry. How many of you have had kids that want you to make them something to eat, but clearly they're not that hungry that they're going to do it themselves or even go drive somewhere to get it? You're like, that's entitled. It's satiation. We're satiated. How many of you are going to do the work today? Like, I'm curious. How many of you are going to pick up the phone and follow up with 25 people today? How many of you are going to do the DMO? How many of you are going to do the IPA that needs to be done? Or you're like, Brandon, I know I'm not going to follow through. I know I'm not going to do it all. I'm just not, I'll probably do it tomorrow, but maybe not, maybe later in the week. And you don't have the leverage. You're satiated. In other words, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. 4 years ago, I was comfortable with my health. I was 50 pounds overweight, but I was comfortable. Yeah. I exercised once in a while. I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, which included between the hours of, especially between the hours of 9 p.m. and midnight. It's my favorite time to eat. A lot. You know how hard it is to change those diets? You know how hard it is? You guys, come on. You know how hard it is to change those kind of habits? How did I use it? Pain. Pain ran me. Pain motivated me. And I wanted to be healthy. That was the pleasure. I was not satiated. Not being motivated, Jennifer. If you're not motivated, my guess is you're just not using enough pain and pleasure to get motivated. That's it. I want you motivated today because I want you to see the pain and I want you to see the pleasure of moving forward. Now, that might take a little bit more than what we're doing today. I don't know. But if some of you get real with yourself, you'll go, yep, I'm satiated. I'm just comfortable. Some of you are dissatisfied. You're like, I got to make a change. I'm dissatisfied with things. I was a little bit dissatisfied with my health a bunch of times. Back in the past, I'd get dissatisfied. I'd look in the mirror and go, come on, you're better than this. You want a nice body. Like, what are you doing? Like, look at that fat. That's not good. Like, I get a little bit dissatisfied. So I'd go on a diet for 3 months or 3 weeks or 3 days until I got satiated again. Until one day I hit a threshold. Until one day I got a cancer diagnosis. And I hit a threshold. I said, no more. No more. And for the last 4 years, I've been at my ideal weight. The last 4 years, I read labels. I do not put sugar, processed sugar into my body. This doesn't happen. Not it doesn't happen once in a while. It never happens. Unless somebody's poisoning me while I sleep, and I don't think my wife would do that to me. So what's your threshold? What's your threshold, guys? And it's like, not another day, not another minute. It's time to make my business effective. It's time to make my business important. And listen, I leave space for you tonight to write a letter of commitment to yourself. Write a letter of commitment that says, here's all the pain and all the pleasure. Here's the pain. Letter of commitment says, here's all my pain. Here's the people I haven't impacted. Here's how it feels. It feels lousy. How does it feel, guys? How does it feel to not be more effective in your business when you know you can be? How does it feel? What does it feel like? To play smaller than you're capable of. To not step up. What does it feel like? Does it feel like survival? Does it feel like insignificant? Do you feel less than? Do you feel not enough? It's depressing. What does it feel like to know you're not playing at your fullest extent? It's draining, right? Is it exhausting? How many of you this is exhausting? Survival is exhausting. Thriving is not exhausting. At least not in Pamela, I like the word sucky. Feels sucky, yes. Embarrassing, awful. Ooh, the more emotions, the better. Tired of being followers sometimes. Yes, what are they? Dig in, dig in, dig in. What are the emotions? What does it feel like to not be playing at your fullest? Like, I want you to get clear, and then you can write a letter of commitment so you can get out of feeling satiated. So you get a place where I'm motivated. I want to do it. Let's go. Let's make this happen. And you'll do what we all have to do at some point. You'll have to take the hero's path. What's the hero's path? Step one, you're going to get a call to adventure. Now, maybe you're like, Brandon, what do you mean hero's path? Right now, to make a business transformation, to bridge the gap, you have to say yes to a call to adventure, a call to action. This is your vision. This is where you get clear in your letter of commitment to yourself that says, this is where I'm upgrading. I am upgrading my business. It's time. It's not time today because somebody got me a little bit motivated. It's time for good. It's time for good. What do you need to do to get you to a place that says, I am doing this from now on? I've hit a threshold and it's time to move my business. What do you need? Don't wait for fate to drag you. Guys, trust me, volunteering is so much better. Where do you need to say yes today to your business? Why do you need to say yes to your business? Why is this call to adventure critical? Listen, I know the hero's path. When we get a call to adventure, most of us do what? We say, no, you got the wrong person. Not today. Maybe another time. I'll get serious about it someday. When? When? And why now? Why is the call to adventure for you critical now? Is it because you finally want to step up and really help people with this product? Is it because you finally want to build a business? Like you're done. You're done messing around. You want to take some action. Like when? And some of you are like, Brandon, I'm here. I'm in it. I've been in a threshold for a while. I'm like, awesome. And I see some of you out there that I know you have for sure. For sure. The call to adventure. That's the first step. That's the first step we all got to take if we're going to move through this process and get ourselves to another level. So we've got to get to a place where we are motivated. And I want you to use pain and pleasure. So your letter of commitment that you do, that's all about you getting clear about why you've hit a threshold to move into your business. And I know some of you have done this with me before. So you're like, Brandon, I know I've done this. But have you done it to the point where it's like you're motivated? You're doing it. You're doing the do daily. You're doing the hard stuff. You're reading the labels on everything, figuratively speaking. You'll be the pain in the ass at the table where people are like, seriously, I don't want to go to dinner with you anymore. It's hard. I know. But here's why. I'm motivated to do whatever it takes to put nothing but health into my body because I never want to get sick again. What is it for you? I'm not willing to play small in my business anymore. I don't want to do it. Some of you, it's a boundary you got to create with yourself tonight, today. Now, saying yes to the adventure is awesome. Now we talk about motivation. You're like, what? Didn't we just talk about motivation? Well, how are you motivating you? Okay. If you look down at your this little motivation cycle in here on your worksheet, I'll pull it up here. But if you look at this little motivation cycle, here's how most of us are motivated. If you look at the inner words there, actually should have you fill in the gaps here, but we wrote them out for you, so we gave them to you. But if you look at obligation, most people are motivated by obligation. I have to, I must, I should, I need to, I'm supposed to. I got to do this. It's actually not even, I would even leave must out of there because I kind of like must. I like must motivating you. I must do it, but I need to, I'm supposed to, I should. That's not hitting a threshold. That's not a threshold. That's obligation. Obligation is I'm supposed to do it. I need to do it. And what will happen if you're obligated? You'll get tired. So today, if you're obligated, all right, Brandon, I know I need to go out and work my business. I know I'm supposed to. I know I should. I know I finally need to. That's not the kind of leverage I want you to create because what will that do? Obligation just leads to more fatigue. And more fatigue leads to more rebelling. How many of you know you have a rebel in you? I do not want to be controlled and told what to do, even from myself. I've been telling myself to do it every day. I've been doing it. I've been telling myself I got to do it. I should do it. I'm supposed to do it. And I don't want to be controlled. I know I'm supposed to put everything in my calendar, Brandon, but I don't want to be restricted by a calendar. I'm rebelling against my own cause. When you feel obligated, when you have to, when you should, the rebel's going to probably show up at some point and you will avoid or not take action. And then here's what you experience: guilt for not taking action. And you're like, yeah, Brandon, guilt. When I feel guilty, that'll get me to take action, won't it? Nope. Nope. It just has you recommit. If I feel guilty or worse, I go into shame, I just recommit and go, I'll start Monday. And And then Monday, I've got to do it. I'm supposed to do it. I should do it. I have to. And then I get tired. And then I rebel. And then I avoid. And then I feel guilty again. And then I recommit to do it tomorrow. And then I'm obligated the next day to do it. I got to do it. Here we go. And then I get tired. And then I rebel. And then I avoid. And then I feel guilty. And then I recommit the next day or the next Monday. How many of you realized you've been in this cycle for a while? This is a cycle that's familiar. Guys, obligation is not a motivator. It's not sustainable. So here's how we motivate ourselves. When you get this letter of commitment, I have enough pain and I have enough pleasure, you say, I'm making a choice. I don't know what your word of the year is, but maybe you might want to think about adding an additional word, and that's choice. I choose to. I want to. I get to. I choose to. When I choose to read every label, when I choose to put into my body healthy stuff, I don't get tired. I get energized. I don't rebel. Don't tell me what I can and can't eat. I'll eat whatever I want. If I want to eat the sugar, I'll eat it. It's like, will I rebel against my own self? Oh, yeah. I'll rebel against my own cause unless I know it's my choice. When I choose it, I choose. Somebody says, how long are you on this diet for? I'm it's not a diet. It's a choice. Gosh, that's a drag, Brandon. You have to do that with every time you go out to eat. And I'm like, it's a choice. Gosh, you have to walk them down every aisle and read every single thing. And you know how much stuff has sugar in it? Like, my gosh, processed sugar, sugar cane, cane sugar, organic cane sugar. Oh, okay, it's organic. Then it's okay, right? No. It's got too much honey in it. It's not good. Right? So it's a choice. And then I don't feel tired and I don't feel like I got to rebel. Guys, when you want to, get to, and choose to, when you make a choice today to work your business, you get energized. And when you get energized, you embrace things and then you take action. And it's the smallest action sometimes. It's like the other day I was on a call. We were on one of our laser intensives. Was it laser intensive? Some of you might have been there with us. And somebody picked up the phone and we actually had them make phone. I've never done this before with a group of people together, but she just picked up the phone and started making phone calls. And she had months. She had a shoebox. Remember? Maybe it was that Ann. Ann, are you out there? She had a shoebox and she counted them. She had 792 people she needed to follow up with. A shoebox full of people. And it had been 792 and growing because she wasn't calling anybody for months and months and months. She picked up the phone. She called 10 people. By the next day, I think she'd called 20 and she had like 6 appointments. If she was here, she'd tell us. That's action. And here's what action will do. It'll eliminate the guilt. It'll eliminate the shame. And that's the best freedom in the world. Guys, I know you want more money. I know you want more time. I know you want to make a bigger impact. And those are absolutely spectacular. But the best freedom in the world is when you do not have shame or guilt because you're committed. It's a different cycle. I'm choosing to do this. I'm choosing to bridge the gap. I'm choosing to work my business. It creates energy. You embrace it. You take action. You're free and you're committed. That's a different process. That's a different motivator. So make sure when you look at this, you're clear that you're not coming from a place of just another obligation. I should, I need to, I'm supposed to. This is from a place of choice. You make a choice. I'm choosing today to work my business. Here's the pain and here's the pleasure that's giving me leverage, but I'm making a choice. Choice has a whole different spin to it, doesn't it? Yes. This is choice. This is choosing your experience, what I'm asking you to do today. And think about it. What are all the activities right now in your business that you feel like you have to do, you should do, you need to do, you're supposed to do? What are they? You're gonna name all the DMOs, all the IPAs, follow up, follow up, follow up, marketing, sales, follow up, what is critical in every single business? The most critical? Marketing and sales. Brandon, I'll do anything to not have to be a salesperson. Who's going to sell your business? You got to be the one that sells your business. Yeah, but I don't want to be a salesperson. You don't want to be a scummy salesperson. You don't want to be pushy. You don't want to be manipulative. But you want to be a good salesperson. That means serving people, right? So, what are the activities right now that you're doing because you feel like you should, you need to, you're supposed to? And this is just going to be one more thing that's going to add a have to, should, and must. Actually, I like must. I'm going to leave must out of it because I like, if you must do it, it's different. If you should, if you need to, if you ought to, we're not doing it. Now, one of the most impactful things you're going to get from me in this whole process is the concept of the triad. How do you just choose? Brandon, I don't just choose. I have to do it. Do you? Here's how we change the meaning of something. We change the meaning of something by changing one of three things: our focus, our language, or our physiology. Right now, you might be going, gosh, follow up, Brandon. I know, gosh, how many of you even heard me say, you got her to make 10 phone calls? Like, how many times have I been on that kind of a call or that kind of a thing? And I just pick up the phone and make phone calls and like, how many were like, ugh? Your physiology went, and your language went, blah, yuck, it's disgusting. Oh my gosh. And what's your focus? I'm convincing somebody to get my product again, doing it the old way. How would you change the meaning of that? Of a phone call? What if you change your physiology? What if you changed what you focused on? Like how you're contributing, connecting, or helping. What if you change your language? Conscious language? I don't have to. I choose to. I want to because. I want to because. That's different. It's different language. Some of you use language that's so debilitating. How many of you have ever been stabbed in the back? Have you ever been stabbed in the back? You have not. You have not. Now, some of you are going to say, I have. If you've been in a war and somebody literally stuck a knife in your back, you've been stabbed in the back. Otherwise, you have not been stabbed in the back. But you use those words. And think about how that impacts things. I've been stabbed in the back. I can only imagine what it would be like to be actually physically stabbed in the back with a knife. My guess is pretty intense. I've never had it happen. I've had somebody break my trust and do something that was for their gain and my demise, but they didn't stick a knife in my back. How many of you have ever been starving? Ever been starving? How many you have kids that have been starving, right? Until they have to make their own food. They're not starving. How hungry are you when you're starving? I remember one time we got off the plane. We went from one gate to the next. We like ran. We had like 3 stops. I don't remember. We were like booking it, and the plane we were on didn't have any food, or it was like food that, of course, I couldn't eat, or whatever it was. And we got off the plane, and I ran to this place, and I got a salad and got everything like beans, salad, and rice, and all. I have my bag. I have one of my kids carrying one of my bags, and I'm eating the salad with my hands. They didn't give me a fork, so I'm eating it as we're walking. And Michelle's like, you can't at least wait till we get to the car. And I'm like, I'm starving. And I was. But that's the only time I've ever been starving. It's like I hadn't eaten all day. I was starving. But if I say I'm starving, do I feel like I'm starving? Or am I a little peckish? Our words have a lot of impact, don't they? Stabbed in the back. I'm starving. Because if you're starving, you might grab a salad or potato chips and start. But if you're a little peckish, you might make some different decisions. It's the same thing when you look at your business. What's your language you use with your business? Notice it. Notice what you're focused on. Notice your physiology. We're going to talk a lot more about this, but the triad is a big piece of what is impacting your business and how you look at it right now. Your physiology, your focus, and your language. What is it? What is your physiology about when you think about your business right now? When I just mentioned the phone call, you're like, oh, gosh, here we go. I saw your faces, right? You disengaged. Even some of the stuff in the time, I know. Oh my gosh, Brandon, I know this stuff. I know you have a cognitive mastery, not the experiential. Maybe. It's my hallucination. I don't know for sure. What do I know? Right? I know a lot. Practice. Am I practicing? So, what's your focus in your business right now? Brandon, I've hit a threshold. Let's go. Or, yeah, I'm comfortable. It'll change someday. As soon as the business changes, as soon as they get a different website, then I'll make it happen. As soon as they figure out all the glitches, then I'll go out and do the work. Listen, your company didn't call me and pay me to do this. This is me serving you. This is me serving you. And I'm going to tell you right now, your focus in physiology and language has everything to do with how you're approaching your business. Everything. Where are you deciding to put your focus? What are the words you use around your business? And what's your physiology? We'll talk about this more. All right, guys. So today, just a little intro. Day one's getting like our feet wet, setting some groundwork. Tomorrow, I'm excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow is heavy. Tomorrow's heavy. Tomorrow, but not so heavy that it's going to crush you, right? But heavy in a good way. Heavy in a good way. For those of you that grew up in the 60s, it's heavy. It's heavy, right? That's good. I didn't grow up in the 60s. I grew up in the 70s, but things are heavy. When they're heavy, they're good. They're good. Good. So we're going to dig deeper tomorrow. Each day we're building. Each day we're building. Now, one of the things that you guys all had an opportunity to do was join us in what's called the VIP Lab. And some of you have been here with me before. You know the VIP Lab. You know what it's all about. The VIP Lab will take place each day after we do this. So we'll do our hour here with our worksheets, and then we'll do a VIP Lab. And those of you that are registered for the VIP Lab, you'll come join us in a separate link in your dashboard in the VIP Lab. You'll come join us there. Some of you have registered. Hey, $37 one-on-one coaching. I'm in. Some of you are like, is he trying to upsell me? And I'm like, coming to get this thing, and then I have to pay more to get this other thing. Well, yes, I'm trying to upsell you. That's number one. Number two, you are getting more, a lot more. And here's what I'm going to do. And I've done this with other challenges before, so I'm going to do it again for this one. I'm going to give you all the VIP Lab today. You get it free. Now, what I mean by that is you get to watch the VIP Lab take place today. Tomorrow, if you're not registered for it, you won't be part of it. Is it worth $37? For those of you who have ever been part of our VIP Lab before, just put in the chat whether or not somebody could or would choose to. I'm not going to say should. Be part of the VIP Lab. Well, we have somebody that came off mute. If you came off mute, go back on mute, would you please? Unless you're going to say something about the VIP Lab. So VIP Lab. Today, you get it. You get to be part of it today. No extra cost. At the end of today, midnight tonight, it goes to $97 to be part of the VIP Lab. Pam, will you put the link in there for the VIP Lab? Put the link in here so people know how to get to where that is. So put the link in the VIP Lab. And if you're looking for the link to download worksheets, support at brandonbarbercoaching.com is the place to go for sure. That's for the Greek badass. I like that. Greek badass. That's cool. So go to, okay. So there's the link for the VIP lab. And again, today you all get to take part in the VIP lab. Absolutely no cost today. At midnight tonight, it is $97. It is $97. So Sarah says lots of breakthroughs, fantastic coaching, worth its weight in gold. I'm just seeing yes, absolutely incredible. A lot of people say this is where the magic happens because this is where we dig below the surface. And I work with you one-on-one to really find out, hey, what's going on? What's going on? So tomorrow or tonight at midnight, it goes up to $97. Please, please, please promise me this. Tomorrow, if you want to join the VIP lab, you pay $97 and don't get mad at us. Deal? Don't get mad at us. It's $97. It's $97 tonight at midnight. Before tonight at midnight, it's $37. Please don't get mad at us. It is $97 tomorrow. Today it's $37. Okay. And it's where we hot seat. It's where you dig in. It's where we really dig in. And you guys are going to get it free today. So everybody gets it today. Tomorrow it is not. It's only for those who are registered for the VIP lab. So normally I'd say, okay, guys, we're done for today. Go rock and roll. Go take it on. Write the letter of commitment to yourself tonight. Tonight is your letter of commitment. So you get absolute leverage to choose your business. But now what we're going to do is normally you'd see me sit down and then I'd say, I'll see you guys tomorrow and you'd be part of the VIP lab. So you'll kind of see behind the scenes today because you'll actually see me sit down and lower my desk and take a little bit of a calmness. And then in the VIP lab, here's what we do. When you've got a question about your business, about life, about something that's important, if you want to ask a question or you have a comment or you have a thought, here's where you raise your virtual hand and away we go. If you want a hot seat, in other words, you're like, I really want to dig in. Like I got this going on in my business or this going on that I think might be holding me back, or gosh, I'm not even sure, but I need some real coaching here. Then this is the place for it as well. But what you'll do is you'll raise your virtual hand and then first come, first serve. You're welcome up. We bring you into this hot seat and away we go. So again, questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, or if you want a hot seat, you raise your virtual hand. That's that little thing under reactions, right? Where you can put your thumb up or you can clap, but you can also put your hand up. Just says raise hand and you raise your hand. So guys, this is your chance. If you have a question, if you have a thought, if you have a comment, if you want a hot seat, this is your opportunity. This is where you raise your virtual hand and we bring in. So it's always fun to see who goes first because this always gets a little interesting. By day two, there's a line, right? You guys have been part of this. Some of you have been part of it. There's a line of people, but Abby's saying, do it, scared friends. Abby, maybe they need a little bit more coaxing. A little bit more coaxing for those of you. Oh, Alina's in. Alina, she's in. She jumped in. Guys, can we hear it for Alina? Alina's the first one that raised her hand. First one to go. Alina, yay. Guys, let's hear it for Alina. Give her a round of applause. All right, Alina. What's your question?
Hi. Thank you for having me here. What am I supposed to say on which topic?
Well, I don't know. Do you have a question about something? Do you want to take something on in your business that has been maybe eluding you or you're not sure about?
Okay. So I'm an athlete and I'm very results oriented. So when I do particular actions and I'm very religious about sports, I see results and I keep going. That motivates me. With my Just Plus business, There are stretches when I do particular stuff, I see results and I keep going. And then there are stretches of months, and now it's been quite a few months where I do stuff, I do the same stuff that brought me results before, and I work every day. I show up for my business, but nothing is happening. So that's where I'm just kind of stuck, and I'm thinking, should I be doing something else? Should I be doing, like, I don't know where to go and how to change things when, you know, before it brought results, now it's not bringing results, and it gets me unmotivated basically to keep going. I'm still motivated. I know I'm going to get where I'm going, but I don't know how, basically. That's where I'm at.
You used an interesting word just a minute ago. You used the word, my business does nothing. There's nothing happening, you said. Nothing happening. Now, let me ask you, is that brain generalizing?
Probably. I guess it's doing little.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's doing something. Something's happening. What's the something that's happening, Alina?
Well, I follow up with customers, and customers are happy. Existing customers are happy with the experience, so they keep going. Are they raving fans yet? No. So everybody's super shy and they don't want to share their experience. I can't even get any testimonials out of them. Everybody's just, I don't know, playing their small. Um, I'm reaching out to a lot of people who I try to bring on my team, but I know it's probably going to take time. And that's what I'm saying is just, it almost feels like nothing is happening, though there is a lot of work that's being put into it.
Okay. It's important to recognize the work you're putting in. It's really important to recognize what you're doing and the effort that's happening, because if you say in any way, shape, or form that nothing is happening, brain's going to go, it's going to create more exaggeration and more distortion.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in exaggeration and distortion, what do you think that does to your magnetizing ability?
It goes away, probably.
Why? Why do you think that happens?
Um,
If you're saying nothing's happening and nobody's coming forward and no recommendations are coming and everyone is playing small, and what do you think your brain does?
it brings negativity, I guess, around, and it's just, it's positivity is contagious, and yeah, so we have to stay on the positive side, and that's why I understand that how we talk about the business is very important.
So it might create a situation where you go into scarcity. I don't know if you're necessarily going to go negative. Like, you could use the words negative, but scarcity. And when you go into scarcity mode, what's some of the language you'll use with other people? What's some of the focus you'll have? And what happens to your physiology when you're in scarcity? What kind
And
of athlete are you? Alina, tell me, you said I'm an athlete. What's your sport?
I run.
You run. Okay. Let me ask you, you're running, and do you run competitively?
Mm-hmm.
So you run for what? For medals, for prizes, for what do you run for? Money?
For personal development and for particular causes to raise money for particular nonprofits.
Okay. But there's a contest involved. In other words, you're trying to get
Yeah,
to a specific time, or you're trying to beat other
right,
people or whatever. Okay.
right.
So you're in the middle of this run and you look around and everybody is doing better than you. What happens?
I keep running stronger, faster.
Oh, it motivates you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a competitive button that gets pushed in you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So everybody's doing better around you, and you go, I'm going to kick this thing into gear. I'm going to do even better. Is there ever a point when you're running that you get so demoralized you stop running?
No.
Hmm. How come?
Well, because with running, I see results. I know if I keep going, if I don't stop, I keep going, there always will be results because there is no way there won't be.
So when you're running, you have a certain level of certainty.
Mhm.
You know, if I keep running, this is going to happen. You know, if I keep doing this is going to happen. You've done it enough, right?
Hmm.
But when you're running your Juice Plus business, how long have you been doing it?
4 years.
Do you have 4 years of continual growth and certainty that if you do this, this, and this will happen in your business?
Kind of.
Okay. How many of you saw a lot of certainty on her face right there when she said kind of? Not a lot of certainty, right? We saw a lot of uncertainty. How many of you, when she was talking about running, and if she runs and she runs, you saw the certainty. You're like, I'm going to see her keep running, right? The minute she said her business, she's like, kinda, which means you don't have the certainty in your business that you have in running, right?
Probably. Right.
There's not enough. 4 years might not be enough of a of a lip we call it Lipton's test, right? Or
Hmm.
we would say enough of a back history to go, you know what? Got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. So it sounds like you're missing a little certainty in your business that has you questioning things, which then may lead to a place that says, I generalize, I get scarce, so I generalize, I distort, and then maybe you're not as magnetizing. Is that possible?
Yeah, totally.
But when you're running, you like have this certainty that keeps you going and going and going, and you're killing it. You know you're going to finish, you know you're going to do well. So you keep doing it again and again and again. You're a runner.
Hmm.
So let me ask you a question. This athlete inside of you, she's pretty strong. What else is in this athlete? She's strong. She has certainty. Tell me about the athlete that's in you, this identity of this athlete that's the runner.
I'm dedicated. I know I have to work on it every day. I show up for myself every day. I inspire my kids to keep doing it. They're also little athletes. So it's amazing side of my life where I feel very confident and strong and learning every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see it in your physiology. Like, how many of you are like, I want to learn how to run like Alina? How many of you are asking Alina to learn how to run? Like, you're going to her, right? How many of you are in? How many of you are already like, I want to run? I'm calling Alina. Like, I'm in. What if you brought that level of certainty to your business? And you're like, well, Brandon, I don't know, because I'm not getting the results like I get with running. Running is instant result. With your business, there's not instant result. In fact, sometimes there's 15, 30, 60, 90 days until you see results of work you do today. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get that level of certainty?
Just keep going and
Well, let me
keep
ask
doing
the
what I'm
athlete.
doing.
Let me ask the athlete, because I'm wondering if the athlete showed up to your business. I'm wondering if the one that just said, I have this certainty. I know this. I know this and this. And the way you spoke and your physiology and how you were focused. What were you focused on when you're running? What are you focused on? Your abilities, your capabilities. What are you focused on?
Yeah, capabilities, just pushing the limits and seeing what else is possible.
Pushing the limits and seeing what else is possible. Yeah. How are you pushing the limits with your business?
I guess I'm not.
Did you see your physiology? Did it change a little bit? Yeah. So I want to ask the athlete, if the athlete showed up to the business, the one that pushes possibilities. Look at the words she uses, the athlete. Think about what the athlete focuses on. Notice the athlete's physiology. What if she came to the business? What advice does she give you? I want you to ask the athlete, what advice does she give you about the business?
I guess being more goal oriented. What helps me a lot in running, I always set a goal, whether it's 6 months, whether it's 1 month, 2 months, a year, there's always a goal. And once I achieve that goal, I move on to the next. And it never happened that I did not achieve a goal. So I guess I should be doing the same in my business, setting a specific goal and reaching it.
You have a goal right now in your business?
No, it's a general goal of growing it.
Do you see how unspecific it is? I want you to go out and run today. I want the competitive athlete to go out and run today just because.
Not going to happen.
So the athlete thinks you ought to set a goal. What else? What other advice does the athlete have for you?
Not missing a single workout. And I actually pride myself in that I have a coach, he sets the workouts for me, and it's like a game. So I cannot miss a single workout. Now with my business, there are days where I miss working on my business. So
how come? The athlete would never miss a workout. Why does the professional, because you're a professional athlete, you're a professional runner, but you're not a professional business runner?
I should be.
You're not a professional business owner? No, notice the words, right? I should. I'm supposed to. I know. What if you didn't miss a business day? Like you didn't miss a workout. Now, maybe there's some accountability. I'm hearing you got a coach for business. I mean, a coach for running. I don't know if you've ever hired a coach for business or had somebody help you along the way, but are you taking your business as serious as you take running?
Probably not, but this is a good, wake up kind of to start doing that.
Yeah. Because you know as well as I do, I mean, missing one workout can have an impact, right?
Yep.
Missing one workout, eating the wrong meal, one wrong meal can mess with your whole body. You know it's about consistency. Always has been. Yeah. Why is business any different? When you have that drive internally and it's consistent, nothing's going to get in your way. You won't let it. It'll show up. There'll be problems, but you know the consistency keeps going and you reap the rewards. But if you did it once in a while, if you did it when you felt like it, what would your body be like today if you ran when you felt like it? If you did it when it was warm weather, not too warm, just right. When you felt like it, when there wasn't a twinge in your body, when it wasn't too cold, what would happen if you weren't consistent? You probably wouldn't be a professional athlete.
No.
So to be a professional requires some things. It requires sacrifice. It requires commitment. It requires consistency. Alina, what else? What other advice does the athlete have for you? Set a goal, be consistent.
Setting bigger goals. I always look at it like, it's a self-improvement, self-growth, setting bigger goals all the time, and connecting with other runners and learning from each other and supporting each other. So cross training.
Yeah. What's something that could dramatically move the needle in your business? What's something that would make a dramatic shift in your business or could make a dramatic shift?
I'd like to know.
Well, let's ask the athlete because she knows. Go ahead and ask the athlete.
Oh, showing up every day, not skipping a single day.
Anything else? Anything else that you haven't thought of that the athlete could? She's got the answers. What makes her a professional? What would make you a professional in your business?
Help me.
We don't, the athlete's there to help us. The athlete's there. Remember, what does the athlete focus on? What does the athlete focus on? What
The
is the
goal?
athlete physiology? Okay, the goal. Yeah. What else does the athlete focus on? Achieving no matter what, getting there no matter what, no matter what the obstacle is, no matter what if it rains on the athlete? What does she do?
Still runs. Snows, still runs. Yeah. No matter what. That's a great phrase.
What if like something comes into your head while you're running, like, hey, why should I do this? Or why am I doing this? Or gosh, what happens if everybody does better than me? What happens if some of those thoughts come? What does the athlete do?
Those thoughts come all the time, but I don't care. I talk to myself instead of listening to myself. So I talk to myself and just we're going, we're running, there is no stopping that.
Yeah. Can the business person talk to herself?
Not yet.
What if the athlete shows up while you're working on that? What if the
Good idea.
athlete shows up for your business? While you're working on becoming that professional business person, right now, why don't you bring the athlete to the business and let her run the business for a little while? See what I mean? Let her run the show. Let her focus on what she focuses on. Let her use physiology. Let her use the language that the athlete uses when she runs. Why? How about she shows up to the business for now until you get better and better and better, and then we can let the businesswoman run the show. But for
Good idea.
Yeah. So what's your physiology before you go run? What's your focus? What's your language? Being able to get really clear about those three things, that's who gets to show up in the business. Bring her. And Alina, if it sometimes simply sounds like this, athlete, what advice do you give me right now? Athlete, what should I be focused on right now in my business? Athlete, what should I be saying to myself right now in the business? Athlete, what's the best language to use with people? Athlete, how should I approach this problem? Because you have that identity nailed in you hard. It's cemented. You feel it. You don't just know how to be a good runner. You experience how to be a good runner. That's the level of mastery. You actually do it. So maybe we need her to run the business right now. But how beautiful. You have that already in you. Yeah?
Totally. Yeah.
Guys, Alina, the athlete, can we give her a round of applause?
Thank you so much.
Nice work. Very cool.
Thank you.
It really is. It's physiology, focus, and language of this identity that you already have. You already have this in you. We just want to ask her to show up more. Yeah. In the business. Yeah. Nice work. Nice work. Good job.
Thank you.
And here's the thing, guys. Some of you have it built into you already. You have that strong part of you. You know, it's just a part of you, but you need to tap into that part of you in your business because you feel less successful or insecure or insignificant in your business. Maybe it's taken a turn over the last few months and you got to tap into that best part of you. We all have parts of us, personalities, right? So tapping into that part of you, and you guys watched it with Alina. You saw the athlete. You believed the athlete. The business owner was like, eh. The athlete was like, watch this. She just needs to show up in the business. That's all. All right. Good job. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Who's next? Who's got a question, a comment, a thought, or a hot seat? Usually we have hands raised by now. I don't see any. If you're having trouble raising your hand, it's that little thing down there that says, where it says reactions. And then you can put raise your hand. Otherwise, come off mute and tell me you can't do it. Oh, there's Laura. Okay. Laura Bertram. Laura, welcome, guys. It's Laura. It's Laura Bertram. Except we can't hear you. You're on mute.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
There you go. We can hear you now. Yeah.
All right.
Laura, what's your question?
I guess I can relate to what was being, it was Alina. I can definitely relate to that. I've been in the business for 16 years and I feel like I have goals and I definitely can step up more and be more consistent in my business. And that's exactly what I wrote down on my paper is every single day, do a power hour, commit to it, and follow up after and all of that. My feeling is that with my experience in the past is I feel like I'm dedicated and I'm excited about things, but I don't have power over other people. So because I have a team and some of them are not, in the same mind space that I'm in, I can only excite them to a certain level. You know what I mean? So I can't force them to do what I want to do or go where I want to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so that gets really frustrating to me where it's like, I have these goals and, I want to serve people for where they want to go and what they want to do.
Yeah.
And support them for that, but I can't force them to go where I want to go.
Yeah. It's hard to have goals that involve other people's decisions, right?
Yes. If it's running or self-care, that sort of thing, I have 100%, I can do that or not do that, but I can't force other people to do it.
Yeah. So you can't get them to say yes and get them to have the same mindset that you have and get them to be on board like you are.
Yes.
Like you said, that's frustrating.
Yes.
How come? Tell me more about being frustrated.
Here comes some tears. So it's just been, like I said, it's been 16 years and I feel like I show up, I have ebbs and flows over the years, but it's like, dang, I'm doing the work. I'm excited about this. What is it? Is it something in me that I'm not putting out there? What's happening? It just, that many years, it gets frustrating.
Yeah. So it almost sounds, Laura, like the frustration leads to almost a self-deprecation. Like you
Yes.
start questioning yourself and you start to criticize yourself and judge yourself. What else does that sound like? Do you say things like, what's wrong with me? How come I can't make this happen? Or how come I can't get this? What does it sound like?
Um, well, I don't really have the words today. Um,
Maybe you just use your emotions today. It's okay.
yeah, I'm actually a little bit under the weather today, so I'm very vulnerable right now. Um, so I mean, it definitely comes out more when I'm in comparison mode. Like, well, that person can do it, and I don't see that they're better than me in any way, or um, so I try not to be in comparison mode, but
So you get frustrated, and when you get frustrated, then you start to criticize yourself. You almost judge yourself to some degree, and now you're
totally,
in full comparison with somebody else, which could really mess with your self-esteem, can it?
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What else happens? Tell me what happens when you go into this place.
One of two things. One is I either say, screw it and just get going, push forward, do what I know that I need to do, or I go into overwhelm and shut down.
Hmm. Hmm. Is it like a 50-50? 50% of the time you go into overwhelm, 55% of the time you say screw it and move forward, or what's the percentage?
Um, well, I've been doing this a long time, so I move forward more more often. It's
Okay.
easy to get into overwhelm, but yeah, I move forward, and I'm an extremely patient type of person.
Hmm.
And it's like I'm waiting for my day. If I keep doing this, and I've had a ton of personal growth over the years, a completely different person than I was 16 years ago in so many ways. I feel like it's gonna hit, and but it does get frustrating, the waiting.
What irritates you the most about what you don't have control of with other people? So the things that irritate you the most about other people are what in your business?
Um, the you know, coming in excited and then ghosting,
Ah,
just like, yeah, like somebody comes to mind right now. It's like, oh my gosh, you were so excited. You hit the first level, and now like totally ghosting.
hmm.
And I think life circumstances are super annoying.
Like what? So when they ghost you, it's annoying, and what life circumstances are annoying?
People have things happen like, oh, I just joined my business, or the business, I'm really excited about it. Let's go. And then, oh, somebody passed away in their life. And it's like, I can't be mad at that. That's a life circumstance that happens. But it's like, oh, crap. Okay, well, there goes that person for a while.
Hmm. Yeah. So outside influences that they have in their life, life happens to people.
Yes.
Yeah. What else? What else is the most frustrating or irritating that you can't control?
Um, I would say just people committing to doing what they said they were going to do.
Oh, yeah. So people say they're going to do it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to work on my business like this, or I'm going to make it happen like this. And then they don't follow through, or they
Yeah,
don't end up doing what they say they're going to do. Yeah.
right.
Is that frustrating? Oh, man. So frustrating. Yeah. What else? What else is irritating and just irritable to you that you can't control, but oh, you wish you could?
I'm drawing a blank right now. Yeah, just communication, like people consistently communicating and not, like I said, the ghosting part of things.
Yeah.
I think that, yes, yes, I'll say that.
So let me ask you, Laura, what if you're focused on wanting to control those things? What if your subconscious is really wanting to control all of those things? And you know you can't.
Right.
But what if you've created expectations that you can control it? In other words, in your mind, you've created a scenario that says they're going to do this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
In your mind, you've created an image of what's going to happen, even though you can't control it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like if you were to set up an event. Let's say you're going to do a sourdough party, Laura, and you're like, in your mind, you created, she's going to show up and she's going to show up and she's going to show up and she's going to show up. And you have all the people in your mind that are going to show up and then you think about what it's going to look like. Like, what's the whole event going to look like and how many people are going to get excited about it afterwards? And what if you create that scenario? You've ever done that?
Yep.
And now what if only 2 of those people show up? And what if nobody decides they're interested in more when they're there? What if it all looks different than what you created in your mind?
Mm-hmm.
You get frustrated. And we both know what happens when you get frustrated.
Yep.
You beat yourself up, you start to talk negatively, then you go into comparison, and it's a whole process. And now you're not as attractive to other people, right?
Right.
Because you're in the limbic system part of your brain, which is desperation, survival,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're probably in scarcity and you're probably not breathing as much as you normally would. And your face shows like desperation and you're trying really hard, but maybe you don't use the right words. And then you're not necessarily attractive to other people. Is that fair?
Yep.
But what if it's because you got attached to the way things look? You created an expectation. In other words, you focused on something you couldn't control, and you even created an image or a blueprint or a vision or an idea of what it was going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's an expectation. An expectation is trying to create and control something you don't have any control of.
Mm-hmm.
But what if while you created that image, and I know it's all happening subconsciously, your brain's like dreaming it up and going, hey, I'm doing all this because that's what it's used to doing. Like, Laura, what do you ever go on vacation?
Yep.
You have kids?
Yes.
Go on vacation with your kids?
Yes.
Have you ever been on a vacation with your kids and you're miserable on that vacation for part of it?
Yep. I have
Yeah.
teenage girls.
Yeah. And here's why you're probably miserable. Like you could be in like Hawaii or somewhere and have you ever been in Hawaii with your kids and been miserable?
No, I just went with my husband.
You know better now. You're like, I leave the kids home.
That's right.
You ever been in some type of paradise with your
Yes.
kids and been miserable?
Yes.
How is it possible to be in paradise and be miserable? You probably created an image of how it was supposed to look on vacation with your girls.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as it looked different, got frustrated, right? They started
Right.
to fight or they went, gosh, seriously, is this all we're going to do on this vacation? Like, and you're like, you ungrateful little, right? They're like
Right.
on the phone and you didn't create the image of that happening. They were having a good time and they were thanking you for being a great mom and taking them on this vacation and everybody was holding hands and you're all wearing clothes that aren't wrinkled and it was probably perfect.
Correct.
Yeah. Expectations usually are. But the minute it went wrong, you got frustrated. What if the visualization that you have about the way it's going to look, that subconsciously happens. You're not even necessarily consciously doing it. What if that's actually creating the disappointment and the frustration?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I would say you're premeditating it. You're premeditating frustration. You're premeditating the disappointment by creating an image and focus on the things you have no control over. You're already thinking this many people are going to show up. This many people are going to say yes. This many people are going to follow through with what they say they're going to do. You capture that image and focus on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then you get frustrated. And then you get disappointed. Why? Because you've put all your energy and focus on the things you don't control or can't control. Laura, what if you let go of that? What if when you think about all these things you can't control, people ghosting, how many people show up, whether or not they follow through, what if you said, I'm surrendering to that and I'm not going to create or focus on the results or outcomes of the things I can't control? I'm only going to focus on what I can control. If you think about it on a vacation, what can you control on your vacation? With your girls, what can you control?
Our flight, our hotel,
You can't control, you can control whether
where we
you
go.
book the flight, but you can't
Yes,
control whether the flight takes off on time.
correct.
You can't
Yes,
control whether you got a layover.
right.
You, you can't control the flight. You control booking the flight.
Yes,
That's
that's what
it.
I mean. Yes,
Yeah.
this is true.
What else do you have control of?
I have control of my own response.
How you react and respond to something. Yes.
Mhm.
What else? What else can you control on vacation?
Um,
When it comes to your girls, what can you control? You want to say nothing, but that's not true. There is something. What can you control?
um, I'm not sure.
Can you control what you say to them beforehand? Can you control creating boundaries with
Yeah,
yourself around the entire vacation and around what happens?
yeah,
Can you
that's
control whether or not you say, hey, if they get too entitled or they start fighting or whatever, I can remove myself
hmm
and I can go find something that I can do?
yeah.
Yeah. What else? When it comes to your girls, what else can you control? Can you control setting up events and things to
Yeah,
go do?
yes,
Yes. Can you control whether they enjoy it or not?
no,
Can you control whether or not what decisions you decide to make if they're not happy?
I can't control them being happy or unhappy.
Can you control what you decide to do if they're not happy?
Yes.
What could you control on vacation ahead of time if they're not in a good place? What could you do?
Lock them in their room and go to the beach. Um, yeah, I can control my surroundings, my how I respond to things.
Yeah. So, what can you control in your business? When it comes to people ghosting you, not following through, my guess is you've created a vision or something in your brain where you've got control over. Somehow you've envisioned the results looking like a certain way.
Mhm.
And that is setting you up for disappointment and frustration. It's premeditated. I'm not saying you're sitting around consciously doing it. You might be, You might be, but what can you control in your business? When it comes to people ghosting you, what can you control?
Myself.
What's your plan? When someone ghosts you, what's your plan?
I keep messaging them.
Ah, okay. Because you can control what you do, right?
Right, right.
Are people going to ghost you in this
Yes,
business? Yes. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
correct.
Not everybody, but you're going to get ghosted. We all do.
Yep. Hmm.
Can you control what you can control in that? And that's how you respond when the ghosting happens. I'm going to take 10 deep breaths. I'm going to listen to my favorite song and I'm going to keep going.
Yep.
That could be a plan. I'm going to splash some cold water on my face. And I'm going to keep going.
Hmm.
And that's what I'm focused on, not the image of how they're going to respond. What about when people don't follow through? What can you control with people when they're not following through with what they say they're going to do?
I can control my own activity
Yes.
and model just doing my own thing. And
Could you control calling them out on it and saying, "Hey, I noticed that you didn't follow through with this thing you said you were going to follow through with.
yes.
Yeah, I noticed this. I noticed."
Hmm.
Can you
I could
say
set boundaries. Oh, sorry.
that?
I could set boundaries ahead of time saying, can I call you out on it if you don't follow through?
You could. Yeah, you could say that. Hey, if you don't follow through, do you want me to call you out on it or would you rather I not? Yeah. 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 You can control those things. But if you don't focus on what you can control, you might come across as frustrated with them. What happens if you're frustrated with your team? How are they going to respond?
Yeah. It's just not good energy. They're going to ghost me.
They're going to ghost you even more. Yeah.
Right.
But if you went, hey, you know what? I'm coming from a place of I want to serve you and help you and focus on what I can control, and I'm not coming from a place of frustration. Will they listen to you? Will they hear you? Will they be coached by you? Yeah. So you have control of a lot of stuff here. Here's the key. Focus your energy on the stuff you can control and start surrendering and letting go of the stuff you can't control. But you can control an awful lot.
Hmm.
See that, Laura?
Yep.
You see how much you have control of?
Yes.
Boundaries you set up ahead of time, whether or not you ask them whether you can hold their feet to the fire. Some of the things you say to them. Yeah, you can control a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
What if you focus your energy there? And if you have to pull out a list and go, what can I control and what can I control? And what are the things I'm trying to focus on that I can't control? Those are expectations. Expectations are just premeditated frustration, premeditated resentment, premeditated disappointment. If I let go of the stuff I can't control and I focus what I can, I might have a great impact on the stuff I can't control, like my girls, like my team. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Doesn't that feel like that puts you more in control?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thoughts about this, Laura? Comments, questions?
No, I like it. Yeah, I like it. It shifts it from feeling right, like I don't feel like I'm a controlling person, but um, I am to a certain point, and I want control to a certain point at least, but it's the shift in what I can control and my expectations. Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
That's the key. It's all expectations. The
Right.
expectations are what mess with our happiness. The expectations are what create frustration. And an expectation is just focusing your energy on something you can't control
Right.
instead of what you can. You can't control how many people show up, and you can control how many people you contact. You can control what you say to people to get them there. You can control whether or not you have them follow up. You can control what you deliver at an event, but you can't control how many people show up.
Right.
You can control how you lead people and what you say and what you can control your response, your secondary response. Sometimes you can't even control your primary response because your primary response might be frustration.
Mm-hmm.
You just see the source of expectations. They mess with things. They do for all of us. Yeah. So Laura, focus on what you can control. Have better vacations. Have a better business. Because now you'll come from a different place instead of a place of frustration.
Yeah. I like that. Is
Yeah.
this so on the worksheet? My new empowering belief. I can come up with that on my own, but
I have control over, or I can focus my energy on what I can control and stop focusing all of my energy on the results that I can't control.
mhm.
That's just making me more frustrated. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
somebody taught you somewhere, I don't know where, to visualize all the things you have no control over. And that's not what you want to do. You want to focus on what you can.
Yeah. So do you when you set goals, how do you set goals then? Like goals are an expectation, kind of, yes.
No, goals are just a target.
Okay.
Think of goals like a target. You want to move towards a target.
Right.
A goal should not be an expectation. An
Okay.
expectation is trying to control the way things are. So a goal, you're like, here's my target. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. I don't know all the details, but what I do know is I want to get there. That's my target. That's what I'm moving towards.
Mm-hmm.
And then you let go of the stuff you can't control.
Okay. Just take the action that I know I need to do to work toward that target.
And you can even
Okay.
spend a lot of time visualizing the stuff you can control. That's what a good athlete does. Alina
Mm-hmm.
might visualize her runs, but she doesn't visualize what's going to happen at the end of the run. She might spend a little time there, but if all of her focus is on the end of the run, now she can't run. Good athletes focus on what they can control, their activity. Why would you be any different as a leader or as a business owner? Focus the energy on the stuff you can't control and visualize it. And then detach from the stuff you can. Alina can't control how everybody else runs that day. But if she's focused on all of them running poorly, and then all of a sudden they're running great, she's like, what's happening? I'm frustrated. Why are all these people running so well? She can't control whether they run good or not. She can control what she can control. So she focuses on how she runs and the energy she has. Do the same thing as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Helpful, Laura?
Totally. Thank you.
Yeah. Was this helpful to anybody else? For Laura exploring expectations. Yes. Let's give her a round of applause. Nice job, Laura.
Thank you, everybody. I see your comments coming up. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. So this is the VIP lab. This is what it looks like. Sometimes we hot seat a couple of people like we did today. Sometimes we get 3 or 4 people that we hot seat, but this is what it looks like. We go deep. And some of you know, based on being in part of the VIP labs in the past, they go pretty deep. I mean, there's some stuff Some of you have some perfection issues we need to take on, right? And that gets pretty heavy. Sometimes there's some heavy tears that show up. Laura, thanks for the tears today. We appreciate it. But this is the VIP lab, and this is what it'll look like the rest of the week. So we'll put the link one more time in here for those of you who have not registered for the VIP lab. There it is. Pam just put it in there. And I'll put it in the Facebook group. So guys, if you want to register for the VIP lab the rest of the week, you have the opportunity to do that now until midnight for $37. And every day we'll be taking on our worksheets, and then we'll be going into the VIP lab. That's what the week looks like. So tomorrow we keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper. So guys, it's been my pleasure. Day one is now complete. I can't wait for day two. We kick in, we go deeper, we go deeper, we go deeper. I'm excited for it. If you have any questions, any comments, any thoughts, support@brandonbarbercoaching.com. Guys, have a beautiful day, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.
Thanks, Brandon.
You're welcome.
Brandon, have a good one, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much,
Have a good
everybody.
one. Thanks.
And the VIP lab is recorded. Yes, all recorded.
Thank you.
This was awesome.